Good morning. Welcome to Of Darkness and Light. This is Daphne Garrido. I've been telling stories around here that are pretty personal that relate to somebody who is an emotional abuser in my life that I love because they did it in a way that I'll always forgive because I don't even think they know what they did. And I think when they realize it, they'll figure it out. Unless they realize it and figure it out and I'm too mean and then they're caught in a loop of wanting to help but having their feelings hurt, or perhaps just been avoiding looking for a million years because they've got a privileged girlfriend that they don't like as much as me and they want their pussy and money and stuff. We're talking about Mary. This is the person who I'm coming after legally, but still want to be friends with, and legit, I would marry that girl, dude. I would marry that Mary. And I haven't even seen him in 2 years, and they probably think that's insane. They probably think that's insane that I just said that. Yup, dude, that's the kind of vibe. Guess what? Last night, I just had another dream, like I always do when I'm pissed off, of something that just melted my fucking heart and was like, oh yeah, I remember. I love them the most, dude. And they hurt my heart really bad, and that's always how I imagined love feeling when it was actually going to work, was that somebody was going to fix something really bad, and that it was going to be a sadness there, but it was going to be really powerful because two people didn't want to stop taking care of each other as friends, in the least, right? But that's the thing, my dreams always get me rolling, and they haven't provided any words. So what I'm just going to do is, since I have them legally, I'm just going to force them to approach while in 100% let's get married mode. So that, I guess that's better than you're a retard mode and you're a trans-misogynistic boy mode. But the truth is, I had a dream. I had a dream, dude. I had a dream. And it was a literal one. It wasn't one I got written for me. I was in a school, and I was in a school with Mary, dude. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, they're here. We get to hang out and stuff. And then I had two dreams, actually. The first one went on for a long time, and or at least felt like it, right? And the perception was just like all of these instances of me watching from a distance, like thinking about them a lot. Like in the dream there was a history, right? But their eyes never popped over. It was like all I ever saw was a kid with a big smile, schmoozing other people. It's this like popularity contest that they were in the middle of. And I was just like sitting in these different places in the school at a distance alone, being like, God, like is she gonna look over here? Can I go sit next to her? No, there's nothing going on where she'll hang out with me. But there's just a lot of watching them being really, really happy with other people that they were being phony with to like schmooze for school politics, dude. And I'm just like, oh. And I'm just thinking about how pretty they are and how much I love that person and how much I miss them. And I'm a love without boundaries kind of person, right? That's why I get in trouble. It's because I love my best friends a lot. And that's how I want to love my life partner, right? So it's all the same to me. So I confuse people because I meet people that are like, I love you as a friend, dude. And then we get really close. And then there gets to be sexual chemistry too. And I'm like, are you my wife? Because what else could you want other than like best friend vibes where you want to fuck too? That's like the whole thing, right? But yeah, the end of that dream was me like walking towards a pair of school buses making friends with a boy, being left out in that way I felt like I was when I was growing up in school as a man, as a fake man. And it was just like a highlight of how the way this human being has treated me has been like they saw me as a boy the whole time. Like they didn't respect my feelings and my body and my personhood as a woman that needed that kind of tender care. It's like superficially they used great language and they seemed to see me as a woman sometimes, but then in retrospect it seems to be this, you've been banished, I'm thinking of you as a man, I will never help you ever. You can go sit alone while I make all the friends in the world, being a cutie pie, dude, and being a smarty and just not caring that I broke your heart into a million pieces and you're like the saddest girl in the world. And I never should have let you in like that if this was my fucking plan, dude. If this was what I was gonna do, I never should have loved you like I did. And I especially shouldn't have ripped your heart out so viscerally and quickly and then gaslit you about what I was doing and then left you sitting for years being like, they didn't understand. They're gonna call me back. They're gonna miss me. They're gonna figure it out. I'll write some sweet art for them. But yeah, dude, nobody wants to be with friends with the person who they want the most, but they can't have because they like superficiality and superficial privilege. And she's some sad trans bitch that just keeps talking about how they can't watch The Bachelor or read books because they did those things with their old friend, and their old friend never let them get over it. Never gave them a goodbye hug. It's just like, dude, that's a really fucked up thing to do to a girl who's just becoming a woman, who gets stuck in a depression that then leads her to lose her mind into becoming a schizophrenic, and then reaches out to you all sad and is obviously abused. It's a really fucked up thing to do. Especially when you care for them deep down. They care for me. I'm their kind of person, dude. They're probably done for with the way I talk nowadays. I could always see that they didn't like it when I did I used to be, I can't even do it anymore. I used to have a kind of fake, superficial woman voice that I can't even do it anymore because now I do it more naturally when I'm up here. I let my personality move up here when I feel like it, right? And when I'm feeling at home in spirit, my voice gets a little higher, and it's cool. But it was very contrived before. I was going through voice training stuff, and it was really difficult. I didn't know how to modulate or put my voice where I wanted, or not give a fuck and stay just as monotone as I fucking want. But yeah, I think the pretension bothered them because the biggest smiles I saw out of them, the nicest they ever treated me was when I just talked like a human who didn't give a shit, dude. So they probably see me nowadays and they're like, fuck, dude. They're probably like, because I'm like really hot, and they're totally the kind of person that would bang on a disabled person and not want to tell people about it, like an ugly trans girl, and yeah, and they're a big sweetie pie who likes to take care of sick people, and they're an abused kid too who's doing their best, who needs somebody really sweet, but probably just gets beaten up by people still because caught in abuse cycles of using, right? Like, what are they using you for? What are you using them for? Is it privilege related? Is it love? Is it a really, really powerful friendship like we could have had? I mean, probably not on that last one. That's what always frustrates me, is they're out there schmoozing people that I know from my guts, from my fucking like DNA, I'll say it that way, aren't as good as friends as we're supposed to be. Because I've lived a whole life looking for my best bud, and I found them, and then they raped me and gutted me into the gutter, and then are like not caring that I'm on my way to homelessness. And I know it's some like self-masochistic, also just like evil infested, like I love this pretty girl and she hates trans women, and I told him that I didn't bang this girl, so I'm gonna pretend that that's the case so I don't have to be embarrassed, because they're sick. And they talked about stuff that implied we were in a relationship that got intimate when they were reaching out for help. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll just lie to everybody and pretend I wasn't with them, and pretend that they're just like some friend I knew a couple times that got really messed up. That's what I assume most of the time, is that they're just telling this blatant lie to like their family and friends, and then probably pissed off because they are not believing it anymore, because these people look at my information and you're lying if that's the case. But anyways, I woke up and I was really sad, and it was like, fuck, dude, that's the worst dream ever right now. Because it woke up after like, it was me and the boy walking towards the buses, and I realized that they were in the person I wanted to sit next to, the Mary, was sitting at the back of a school bus full that I wouldn't even be able to get on. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll go sit on the other bus, dude. So I woke up and I was sad about it. And then I went back to bed. And then I had another dream in that school, but it was like in a lunchroom. And there was a seat next open to them. And I was too afraid. And I like walked away. But they like called me over and like pulled the chair out. And then it was really, really sweet and precious to my heart. And I've had a couple of dreams like that over the years, lots of them. I'm being nice. I have this dream over again where they're mean, they don't like me, but then they come up and they're really sweet, even though they're still kind of like half and half mean and nice. But then this one, they like started footsying me under the table, and it was just like, fucking goddamn it. And it was so sweet, dude. It was the sweetest thing I ever felt. And then I woke up and I was like, yeah, dude, this goes in line with my revelations last night, that I'm just gonna own it. Because I Sherlocked it, dude. That motherfucker loved me. That's why they did this. That's why this is like the worst thing ever. They're killing a woman they love, because she's trans and because she pissed him off working differently, despite the fact that the trans woman respected the way that they worked differently the whole time. Complete lack of respect for the differences of how people work, complete exploitation of the trans woman's disability, complete exploitation of the way modern psychology has emboldened so many in culture to believe in their core that avoidant personality boundary holding is actually righteous and holy, while they're driving women in particular, but men and others, into pit spirals of depression that lead to sad lives, or worse, dude, or years of mental unbecoming torture where you're shrinking into like a little kid, thinking about this person all the time, crying about them all the time, writing about and reaching out, being like, why aren't they messaging me? Not being able to stop thinking about somebody because you're schizophrenic, and because they did something so bad where they let you sit in a blank space freaking out, sending them emails for like 6 months instead of just saying one thing, dude. It wasn't that long. That's why I had an itch, because it was like August, September, October, yeah, Yeah, so it was like three plus months, but those are long 3 months of like 1,000 emails and a bunch of every day, and most all of them having the word help, I need help in the title. Like, ridiculous. It's ridiculous for somebody who's supposed to be my friend, dude. And that's what trans misogyny does. It's ruining the world. It's taking things away from how they're supposed to be, dude. I'm portaling them back. So that's what's up. Have a good one.